Hey everybody, Dr. Mark Lantz here with this week's edition of Motivational Monday. So here we are, second full week of 2020, and I've got to ask you, how are you doing? Are you still focused on fulfilling those goals, chasing those dreams you had a week ago? Don't lose that momentum that you had to start the year, but keep pressing in. Make this the greatest year of your life. So I want to share something with you today that I believe will help you make that happen. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 2 that there's a time to be born and a time to die. And I use that to remind you of this fact. New habits cannot be born until old habits are put to death. New relationships, they can't form until the toxic relationships standing in their way are gone. New mindsets can't be born until the old way of thinking is banished. New opportunities, guess what? They don't come until you're willing to release your hold on the opportunities that have died. That idea that was born many years ago, guess what? It had its time. Now it's time for a new one. That way of doing ministry, it had its season. But just because it worked back then doesn't mean that it's going to work now. That way of thinking that was good for you then, this is a new season. And it requires new thinking, which means there's some things that you need to let die so new things can live. Jesus reminded us in Matthew 9 and 17, he said, "Men don't put new wine into old bottles because the bottles will break and the wine runneth out and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles and both are preserved." You can't take the fresh ideas, the fresh opportunities that God wants to bring to you in 2020 and try to fit them into the same way of thinking that you had in 2019. So while we're still in the early stages, the early weeks of 2020, I need to encourage you to be willing to let those things of 2019 die so God can bring life. God can bring something new in 2020. It's your job in these early days of the year to get along with God. Find out what attitudes, what habits, maybe even what thought patterns need to die so you have room to give birth to the new attitudes, the new habits, the new thought patterns of 2020. Listen, friend, I'm very excited for you. I believe 2020 is a year of new birth, so let whatever's standing in the way of that new birth, let it die so life can bloom with you this year. I want you to have an awesome week, and I look forward to seeing you right back here every Monday in this brand new year of 2020 as together we chase the life God's created us to live.
Wow.